and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to another in a series of Lunch and Learns. Chad Lewis, Superintendent, Sycamore Community Schools, and we are excited to give you an update on our facility plans and some of our most recent projects and where they're headed for the end of the school year this year. So we do think it's our duty to continue to update our taxpayers that have invested in our community and invested in our facilities to see pictures and updates from those facility projects. So without further ado, we are going to get started with the agenda. We will be showing you pictures and updates from our junior high facility, our transportation facility, our high school facility, and some of our exterior athletic projects coming forward. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So again, you can just see some of the things that we're going to show you on our agenda that we've covered, and very excited to show you the update on Seeger Family Natatorium, and then we're happy to answer any questions that you might have about our projects going forward.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allison McKenzie. I'm an architect with SHP, one of the several architects working on your projects. We are really excited that Sycamore Junior High is getting closer and closer to completion every day. It's kind of hidden behind the existing building right now, but pretty soon that building will start coming down and you'll start being able to see the new building from the road. The community, I think, said goodbye to the old building last week, so it is time to move into this exciting new chapter for the new building. I will turn it over to Mr. Level now to share some of the highlights of the building.
We're going to have an opportunity to walk through, so show you some of the incredible spaces, talk a little bit about the design, but ultimately give you the first look inside through video of our new building. What you're seeing right now is our new secured front entrance to the junior high. There will be two designated kind of drives and parking areas. This is where all the magic is going to happen when we welcome all of our visitors and community throughout the day to Sycamore Junior High. And you can see right here behind me is where the front counter is. This is where you get your greetings with your smiles. That will take you back to the administrative suite. All right, we're going to give you a sneak peek of some of the offices. As you can see, this part of the building is actually in its final stages. The flooring has been installed. And if you come back here, I'll actually give you a sneak peek into Mrs. Shunk's office. So you're on with me. One of the things that I want to point out, which we talk about the entire construction project from the high school to the junior high to Green, and even our transportation compound in Sims, we really worked hard to ensure that as we selected furnishings, that they were standard across the district. And obviously for future use, being able to have flexibility in our furnishing between schools is really critical. So you can see a typical office setup here at the junior high. Welcome to one of the academic areas here at Sycamore Junior High School. What you're looking at here is one of the extended learning spaces. We call them ELAs. And if you're familiar with Green School, we have these areas in the middle of each of the pods. Here at the junior high, it's set up just a little bit different in the way that they're in the corners of the academic panes. As you can see, though, how the rooms are set up and designed are very similar into design of how we've incorporated both at Green and the high school as well. I want you to follow me so I can show you a little bit of the science labs. Very excited about this space. As you can see, a big upgrade from what our junior high classrooms have experienced in the past. There are 8 total science labs here at the junior high. We have 4 on the lower level and some on the upper level as well. All of these rooms are connected with storage and prep areas, and the seating in here will be arranged in a way that we've got flexible seating to allow for labs and other activities to occur. Here we are in the media center and the cafeteria. You can see these are somewhat of a combined space that exists for flexible seating, flexible learning. But behind me here is the cafeteria. So this is where a lot of the action will go throughout the day. Obviously, as we work to serve all of our students. And you can see in the kitchen as well, the equipment is in, getting prepped in that space. So we can start testing out and getting things ready for the start of the school year. Flooring is going in, and the final touches are starting to happen. As we head towards the event space down this way, which includes the gymnasium and our theater, I wanted to give you a glimpse of our music suite and our art classroom. Here on the second floor, you get a really good view into the art areas, and what you're seeing here are will be giant display cases that will allow us the opportunity to showcase the talented artists that we have here at Sycamore Junior High. And to the right over here, what you'll notice are some of our music suite classrooms, including our instrumental music and choir. These would be actually access from the lower level. However, it does a great job as you're walking towards the event area, showcasing the multitude of talent that all of our students have here in Sycamore. This is a show-stopping environment. I'll tell you what, we are very excited about showcasing this to the community once it opens. The theater here seats up to 900 and is equipped with all the bells and whistles of any theater auditorium. And so we're excited to be able to offer this to the community and to our students for the performances to again showcase the incredible talent. This is one of two gyms that we have here at the building, an auxiliary gym and the main gym. Again, as we design this space, what we design is the community in mind. We want to make sure that not only we're leveraging the spaces during the day, but we have an opportunity for sports and other alike to be able to spend time in our facilities. We're standing kind of on the second floor here, and as you can see right here, this is where the bleachers will come in over here, and you'll be able to walk down to the seating. And so again, the space is just tremendous. It's got enough space for opportunities for the school day, but also any type of community event we may need to have here as well. Behind me is an outdoor secured learning space that we've created for students and teachers to be able to leverage, whether it's outside the cafeteria there or by the media center, a class just wants to go out and have an opportunity to have a learning experience.
Mr. Lovell, any follow-up comments about Sycamore Junior High?
I don't, other than the fact that there's a tangible excitement that is occurring over at the junior high as we progress through this. And I just a shout out and a thank you. Words don't express the gratitude we have for the team over there at the junior high that's managing a lot right now on that property. But I think that they see the result behind them and are excited about the start of the new year.
And I do want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Shunk, Mr. Cole, Mr. Meyer, and the rest of the junior high team. They did a phenomenal job on the final flight of Sycamore Junior High this past weekend. You know, I know there were hundreds of people that visited and stood around and shared memories and talked about some of the things that they experienced when either they attended Sycamore Junior High as a high school or as a junior high. Thank you to the students and the staff for successfully completing your school year while dealing with the challenges of construction. We do know that there have been some demolition concerns and people reaching out to us. I just want to thank the parents for reaching out directly to someone at the school district and not just using social media or what you hear from a friend or cul-de-sac conversations. You know, those aren't legitimate. Normally, they're just usually rumors or gossip that has started. And I always appreciate when people reach out directly to Mr. Lovell and his team. Our construction team, our district team has nothing to hide. We're happy to talk with you. We've sent out some recent communication, just letting people know that, hey, when we talk about demolition, we are not going to do anything that puts our students in harm's way. and our staff in harm's way. We are going to take all the precautions, and we are heavily regulated through numerous different types of permitting and reviews and inspections that have to be done correctly and done the right way. So our construction team is a very experienced construction team, and please know that we would never instruct them to do anything that would harm anyone to gain some weeks on our construction calendar. That is not something we did. We have had this planned out for a long time. We have had a tight schedule for a long time, but the building has always been prepared to open for the 23-24 school year. And we have never done anything to compromise that, only just trying to find ways to make sure that it continues to happen. So did want to make sure that that's clear, and certainly happy to answer any questions from people if that comes forward.
My name's Bradley.
Comes forward from others saying that those are things that they are hearing. So please reach out to us directly. We are always available for consultation and making sure that we give you correct information. So moving on to the high school, Allison, do you want to talk us through the high school?
Sure. The high school may feel like it's been under construction forever, but we are very rapidly reaching the end of that. The administrative areas were just finished, and I think you'll get a sneak peek of those shortly. And we have some work going on in the existing gyms over the summer to get those ready to be back in action later in the year. We've got some exciting projects to wrap up this overall refresh and reimagining of your high school. So excited to see the video as we share some of those exciting new things.
Sycamore High School. We're excited to be able to show you some of the many renovations that are occurring here, specifically here at the new front entrance. And while we still have some work to go, we're excited to be able to welcome our students into this new secured area. Additionally, here at the front of the building, you can see that we started construction on the Seeger Family Natatorium, and we'll give you a couple shots here from in the work zone. Through the generous donation of the Seeger family, we've been able to take our natatorium and expand it to 8 lanes and increase seating over 400. There's a lot of work that's been occurring out here. Most notably, you can see the walls to the existing structure have been removed. Supports have been put in place to begin the construction of the new pool basin. Over the course of the next few months, we're going to start seeing the construction of the pool. In addition to, at the end of the summer, around the end of the summer, walls going up and enclosing the building. We're looking forward to opening the pool to the community in April of May of next year. Here we are inside the new front entrance of Sycamore High School, and I just wanted to share with you really quick how when you enter, you're going to be able to see the new natatorium. And while it just looks like a wall at the moment, this will be a show-stopping area as we introduce folks to the seating area of the natatorium. Here with me is our principal here at Sycamore High School, Taylor Porter. Taylor, you want to talk to them a little bit about the redesign of front offices?
Sure. Welcome to Sycamore High School, everyone. We cannot wait to bring you in here in person and experience this really awesome office space that we have. We have our main office and attendance office right behind the glass windows. And if you can see further down the hallway, we have our counseling and student services center as well. These offices have roughly 25 staff members that work in that space. And all of it's to serve your kids, your students, your sons and daughters. So we can't wait to have you here in person.
And I think there's 2 other things that we can mention in the midst of this. So for those of you that have been around here for a while, the frustration of really understanding where is the entrance to Sycamore High School. We now have a defined entrance. So that's exciting. Plus branding will be coming to the front of the building. The other thing I think what's really important to note too is the new safe and secure entrance that was built as a part of this renovation. So prior, coming through the other side of the building, we really struggled with how do we maintain that safety and security to the level that we know we need to be at. And now we've been able to design this space where we have to be buzzed in, get into the building, get signed in, do background checks, and then be let back into the rest of the building. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned as you walk into the building, not only will you have a show-stopping auditorium, you'll have a safe and secure protocol to get into the building. That includes badges, door locks, double door entries. We also will have our awesome SRO office right here on the backside of the auditorium, which will be on the right-hand side of this awesome walkway here. So everything we can do to make sure everybody's safe here is certainly our priority.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Welcome to the Sycamore High School Gymnasium. We're excited to be here with you to share with you some of the major upgrades and renovations that's occurring in this area. Over here on the other side gymnasium, you'll see that we have started to build some block. That is our new interior athletics, athletic offices, team rooms, and upgraded locker rooms here on the second floor. And we'll pass it off to Mr. Porter to be able to talk a little bit about this space, though, the gym and some of the stuff that's happening in here.
Okay. So if you guys can see what's going on out there, we've got our contractors and construction workers things right about at the free throw line. What's going to be an awesome gymnasium floor with brand new logos, design, green and gold branding that's going to make everybody really proud. We'll have brand new bleachers on both sides of the gym. We'll have brand new paint. This place is going to feel bright, light, fresh. We really expect this to be the best gymnasium in all of the GMC. So we're looking forward to hosting all of you at our indoor athletic events. We really can't wait to show off our new gymnasium here when everything opens up.
If you remember from our visit at the junior high, we talked about these spaces called extended learning spaces, or ELAs. Well, here we are at the high school in one of our ELAs. So I'm going to have Mr. Porter talk a little bit about how this space is used for teaching and learning.
So these spaces are actually used all day long, before class, during class, after class. You really just get a change of scenery and change of environment, which allows our students to really work well together and to collaborate and do a lot of different types of projects. Right now, we're in the English Language Arts department. You can see kind of two collaboration spaces in the central part of ELA, of our ELA wing. And on each end, we have more collaboration seating as well. And so these spaces are used by all of our grade levels. All of our students at some point get a chance to come out here, work in small groups, work in large groups. And you can even see some of the displays of some of the posters and different projects that are going on. So we're very, very excited to use this space, and we can't wait till you come in here, just kind of take a look and enjoy it yourself.
As Allison mentioned, it does feel like we have been under construction at the high school for some time now, and I just want to give a shout out to our team over there again. In the midst of all the construction, the movement, the temporary spaces, whatever it may be, our team over there continues to make magic happen each and every day. And so we're very thankful for the administration, the teachers, and the students, and all of our families and community that leverage all that space over at the high school that continue to give our workers the base to get that job done. And as we can see, as that project comes to the final phases, it's very impressive. And we're excited to see this last phase wrap up. And of course, the completion of the Seeker Family Natatorium as well. So we'll keep giving you updates, though, on those projects. I do want to switch over now and talk a little bit about our transportation compound. And this is one of those hidden, I call them hidden projects within the master facility plan, because it has been ongoing as we looked at working through the logistics of moving our transportation site off of the property at the junior high. And of course, for the expansion of the new school at the junior high, this was a critical path forward. As you can imagine, it's not easy to find a location to place a transportation compound, knowing that we've got 70 buses, our facilities for maintenance, repair, and everything that goes with it. But we were able to do that. Our new property that we were able to leverage is off of Grooms Road at the old P&G East property. It's in the back corner. You can actually see it from Reed Hartman now, as the P&G East building has actually been demolished. It kind of sits adjacent to our temporary facility over there. All that to say, if you were to go back on Grooms Road, you're going to see what you're seeing now in some photos. Mr. Lewis, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide there. We have had significant progress. The site itself sits on about 5 acres of property. What you see here is the building itself, which includes our offices, storage, and our maintenance bays, kind of the hub of the operation where fueling will take place, all of that operational aspects of the compound. Then what we would say is the east side of the property. So the lower half here of your screen is going to be parking for cars, vans, for the drivers and the staff at the facility. And then kind of the north area there is where the buses are going to be parked and leveraged. One thing that I would like to mention and kind of note in this is that the access road that you see there that comes off of Grooms, that road will actually be overhauled in the next few months as well. So the city of Blue Ash will actually be putting a public road in that's going to connect Grooms to Reed Hartman Highway. The first phase of that will go just to the edge of our property and will be fully up and operational by the time our buses are going to be in and out of that facility at the start of next year. Mr. Lewis, is there another picture here? There we go. You can see just another angle, how that sits there on the property. And I think it's goes without saying that this is a significant upgrade to the property that we had previously on the junior high, in addition to the facility that we're going to be able to house all of our staff for transportation. Is there another picture there, Mr. Lewis?
And Mr. Lovell, I would say it's a tremendous upgrade, not only for our district, but it's a tremendous upgrade for our community and
Yes.
our residents that are near Sycamore Junior High, because I'm sure, and I'm very certain they will not miss the beep sounds and the horns of buses backing up, because they're legally required to have those backup sensors and horns when they're backing up. So I'm certain that our residents will not miss those sounds at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely. And and just to that point as well, finding this property was a labor of love, and we don't have enough time to talk about that process on here, but I will tell you that this property is actually a win operationally as well. It's pretty much the direct center of the district, which from an operational standpoint allows us to opportunity to be more efficient in our operations, saving money down the line as well. The last thing I want to say, and I know Mr. Lewis might want to chime in here as well, is that outside of our work that we're doing for the transportation department, I think it's really important that we mention to the community how much we appreciate everything that our drivers have been through the last 2 years. And I don't feel like we're able to say it enough. And I just want to make sure that I'm saying it and putting an exclamation point on the fact that we're operating our fleet out of a temporary facility. That happened mid-year last year. Obviously, being a temporary facility means that our mechanics are working in the elements outside. We continue to have temporary facilities that the drivers need to leverage to make things happen every day. And then I would also say too that they're doing all of this in the midst of a national driver shortage. As you all may know or be aware that finding bus drivers in the current economic climate is very difficult. We are fortunate in Sycamore to have an incredible crew of drivers, mechanics, and staff who step up to make sure that we aren't like other districts surrounding us cutting services. We've been fortunate enough to be able to retain our drivers. Of course, we could always use more drivers, but ultimately that just puts the pressure on the entire system. So a heartfelt thank you to our entire transportation team. We know that when they get into this building, there'll be a huge weight lifted off of them, and we're excited to be able to have a permanent location. Mr. Lewis, you want to mention anything?
Only thing I would say is, so if you or someone you know is interested in driving a bus, we will accept your application and we would welcome a chance to talk with you. So Mr. Jan from SHP, is there any other comments that you'd like to make about the transportation facility and the work that's going on there?
No, the only comment I have is as a former Sycamore student, I know that the previous transportation facility at the junior high was very organic. There used to be 6 buses there, then there were 8, then there were 30, and then it got up to 70. So the previous location was not really intended to handle the density that it did. And as Mr. Lavelle mentioned, this is an industrial location. It's much more suited for the use today and into the future.
Charlie, would you mind talking just briefly too about some of the things that we did in the design phase of that for the future?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we've done is there's high security around it, but that fits within the Bluish community. So there's fences and gates to allow buses and drivers to enter in and out in a secured fashion. That's needed for just nighttime security and things that we've seen happen late at night. Another thing is we are also wiring in block heaters for all the buses so they can stay warm in the cold winter months, but also that wiring can also be converted to electric power in the event that schools start migrating towards electric school buses, which is something that we're seeing on the horizon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you to SHP for that forward thinking, along with our engineering companies, because without that, we wouldn't be prepared for that. So our next project, just to give you an overview, again, we cannot be more thankful to our community, to Mr. Seeger and his family for their support, and also the support of our school board. Without those three components, this new addition to our district would not be able to happen, along with our other Always an Aviator capital campaign projects. And we have a number of campaign projects that are going on that we're still fundraising for. Baseball and softball, phase 2 of our multi-purpose stadium are some of those projects that we're still doing additional fundraising for. But we're going to focus today on our natatorium, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Janigan to talk us through our natatorium projects and give you an overview of what's happening. And certainly we're almost to the finish line of finishing the fundraising for this project. So kudos to Mr. Seeger and others that are working on this project and working on the fundraising for this project. Mrs. Serta is also someone that we have to say thank you to for not only her generous donation, but also leading our fundraising campaign with Mr. Seeger. So Mr. Janigan, thoughts about?
All right. Yeah, go to the next slide. And we can see this is with the new entry kind of poking out there and the new drop off. And then in the distance, you can see some construction equipment. Next slide. This is moving a little bit to the north, where you can see more demolition has occurred on the current pool. As previously mentioned, the pool is a 6-lane pool, and it will be growing to be an 8-lane pool. Another thing to point out is that the new face of the pool, the east face, will align with the stair tower that's in place there today. So it will be growing a little bit. Another component on within this image you can kind of see is where the red dumpster is and the red truck. That will be a secondary drop-off loop for the high school. So we have one drop-off loop now, but we will have 2 when the pool is all the way done. So next slide is just some more imagery showing the demolition. The roof is gone. Where we have ramps to get equipment into the pool, and then shoring is going in. Believe it or not, when you have a pool that's on the lower level and then the pool goes 12 feet deep and you need to excavate a little bit beyond, there's about a 25-foot grade change. And so for security purposes of construction practices, they're putting in shoring to make sure that it can be installed in a safe manner. I believe this is the last shot. The air handling unit that serviced the previous pool has been removed. You can see the green and yellow current bleachers. I believe that seating could accommodate about 80 to 100 people total. And as previously mentioned, we're going to be near 400 seats. So it'll be a really exciting venue within the region. And again, Sycamore can continue leading the GMC with all the water sports teams that they have.
Mr. Janigan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the seating will not be on this side of the facility.
Actually, correct. The entire pool was being rotated 90 degrees. So the current pool goes north-south and the seating goes north-south. And we will be rotating at 90 degrees, where the deep end will be close to the current seating that you see right there, and the green and yellow seats that are in place today. That will be the deep end. And then where the little mini track hoe is up there by the stairwell, that will be the line of the seating We will have a variety of bench seating and then also some fixed seats for VIPs. So it'll be really exciting. We're excited to see this take the next steps and really start to shape up here throughout the summer.
Mr. Janigan, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the most critical pieces that we heard from a competition standpoint that was limiting in our current pool, not only the 6 lanes, but the depth of our pool was very limiting, because for water polo and things of that nature, a 4-foot into the pool is not necessarily good for competition. Isn't that correct?
Correct. And so the new pool, the shallow end will be 6 feet. The deep end will be 12 feet. There will be 2 diving boards as the current pool had, but it will be a better pool for competition for water polo. We've also put in a couple more features to make sure that splashing and speed in the pool can be maintained. So we've worked very, very closely with local experts to design these features to have a state-of-the-art pool that really can become a gem within Sycamore's facilities.
And it'll still be used for all learners and classes and varied levels of swimming. So we do have plans to make sure that it stays to be used for all of our different intended uses and previous uses. So.
Correct. The state of Ohio, actually, Board of Health has to review it, and it has to comply with all handicap requirements. There'll be a lift to be able to assist people in and out if needed. And but again, it'll be a very, very exciting multifunctional pool within the region.
Great. Thank you for that. So we've come to the end of our presentation, just giving you quick updates on some of those major projects that are going on. As I mentioned before, one of the questions that people may have about some of our other facilities is, what are going on with, our multi-purpose stadium, with an additional of locker rooms or field houses. We're currently fundraising for those things and working towards goals on those things, but until fundraising can occur, it's hard to give updates on projects that have not started. We certainly have a goal for that because we know the seasons are coming and trying to move into that possibility. We also know that other renovations that are up and coming, we have junior high tennis courts going in. There'll be 5 tennis courts at the junior high. We're very excited about that project, but that can't go in until the old building gets out of the way. So, there's all these pieces, components, and levels that have to happen before we move in that direction. We still want to do some upgrades to our baseball and softball projects, and we have fundraising teams working on that. So thank you to those teams for working hard to try to raise those funds. We have you got the update about the natatorium, but we're all, and I will tell you, we have people that are very passionate about theater and arts and are working towards projects in those areas and are talking about fundraising components. So I have to say, I've never worked in such a generous community of people that want to give back and want to do great things to support our students. And, we are open to those conversations. Just know, I can tell you, Mr. Lovell and our team are very overloaded currently with projects that we're trying to bring to completion. So we will keep doing that. The first question, it sounds like, that came in was about our bricks going to be available from the old building. And I'm assuming you're talking about the junior high building. Mr. Lovell, do you want to take that question?
Sure. Yeah, we've actually had this question frequently. In fact, we did the same thing with green. And so the plan is during demolition to be able to take some bricks, set them to the side, and let the community know that they'll be available. I jokingly said with Mr. Lewis the other day, which decade, right, from the junior high, because we have a lot of different bricks from a lot of different time, but I think we're going to withhold some of the bricks from the original building if folks from the community would like some as a memory.
Ms. Bondbright, I don't want to get in trouble with you, so I'm going to look at you for a signal. Can we give people a little, since they logged in today, can we give them a little bit of insider info about what was found at EH Green? Can we give them just a tidbit?
Sure, absolutely. So it's kind of one of those funny things when we were finishing up the completion of the new EH green, and the old portion of the building was still there. Our crews, our maintenance crews, did like this unbelievable search to try to find a time capsule that was placed in the building in 1960. And I mean, they were out there with bulldozers trying to find this thing. They were looking everywhere. They never could find it. But
I
apparently
think
it drove.
CTO actually hired a company to help try to find it as well.
Yes, I mean, there was all kinds of efforts to locate this time capsule, and we kind of almost just said it must not exist, or we have no idea where it is. So actually yesterday I got a text message from Mr. Mino that it was driving our maintenance and custodial guys over there so crazy still that Larry Craver, if you're familiar with Larry, he's a great guy, decided to chisel away at there was a cornerstone that had the date from 1960 still on the old portion of the building that we renovated where the gyms are. And so he decided to chisel away at that, and lo and behold, behind that marker was the time capsule. So we have located the 1960 time capsule, and we're looking forward to opening it. We're going to save that for a day here coming up soon. And we want to figure out exactly how we do it right. We want to honor it and open it up. And I think it would be really cool to maybe live stream the opening of that, so everybody can get a glimpse of history, see what's inside.
Pretty cool to see how many people like Mr. Hackett and others that we could get to come back and help us sort through some of these things, because a lot of history from 1962 to now. So kudos to our team for not giving up and finding this thing. And it will be a fun environment, maybe getting some of the students involved in looking through the things. And it's going to be a fun day. So Mrs. Bombright, any other questions that have come in about anything regarding our projects? Or
no other questions have been received at this point. Thank you, and I think people are excited. I've gotten some comments on our Facebook live stream that this is exciting to see all the new stuff that's happening around the district. So.
Well, if there are no other questions, I do want to just say that, again, please don't hesitate to contact us at any time. And when I say contact us, going on our Facebook page and posting a question, especially if I'm not on our Facebook page most of the time, like I leave that to Miss Bombright, but if you have a direct question that you want a quick answer to, my email is on the website, and all of our team members' emails are on the website, but we also have an MFP email address. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Bombright, but it's just mfp@sycamoreschools.org, correct?
Yes, you can send emails to that email address, and we'll make sure it gets to the appropriate person. We provide monthly updates in our district newsletter. So if you don't, you're not a family member with a child in the district, make sure you email us and ask to be signed up for that. We also provide updates with both the Always Aviator capital campaign, as well as master facility updates on our website, which if you go to our homepage, sycamoreschools.org, and click on master facility at the top of the screen, and it will take you right to that section. Looking forward to also next fall when we open up the junior high, and we're going to have another ribbon cutting event. We have not determined the date for that yet, but we will definitely be sending out some communications around that when we get that all set.
So community, once again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for always allowing us to give you these updates and provide information. And we are so thankful that you have trusted us with this gift to be able to enhance our school buildings, to really put our students and set them up for success for the next 50 to 75 years with these forward-thinking, very strategically thought out buildings that are ready for the next really iteration of learning that probably hasn't even been created yet. So it is such a wonderful thing that our community has done and supported, and they have turned out really well. And I can't wait to show you all the components of the junior high when it is finished. But again, thank you for that patience. We are almost across that finish line. Ms. Von Bright joked the high school is like on phase 10 and we're almost there. So everyone is doing a phenomenal job. The students are magnificent and just taking care of business in these environments and making sure that all the learning is still occurring along with their teachers and staff members that are supporting them. So really appreciate it. Reach out if you have questions, and as always, go Aves. Thank you, everybody.